arthritis that I had in my thumbs, which disabled me from practicing dentistry anymore. And I had just gotten back from the Mayo Clinic where I had a bunch of blood tests and all kind of x-rays and MRIs done to try to figure out why my whole body was hurting so badly. And basically was told by the Mayo Clinic that I just had arthritis and I was going to have to learn how to live with it. And I needed some extra strong medication and antidepressants and all this other nonsense. And that I was just going to have to, you know, deal with my disability. And I was about to turn 50 years old. So I was pretty bummed, to say the least. And I was looking for some more supplements to add to my cabinet full that I was taking every day, hoping for a miracle, when John scanned me. And I scored 14,000 on the scanner. And as you know, that's pretty bad. And he said to me, "No wonder you feel so crappy." And I'm like, wow, I just came back from Mayo Clinic, and that little piece of crap thing on your table is going to tell me what's wrong with me? Get out. Because I was still pretty, you know, brainwashed by the medical industry at that point. But basically, you know, I was full of oxidative stress, probably a lot of it because of all the drugs I was taking. And John talked me into taking LifePak Nano and throwing away $400 worth of supplements I'd been taking. And in 6 weeks, I got my life back. I was like, wow, maybe it's not a scammer, maybe it's a real deal. And I just feel like I'm not unique in my situation. There's a million people out there like me that are full of oxidative stress and pain and frustrated, and you know, they're just not getting anywhere with their doctor. And so I was pretty excited. Oh, I'm going to take the scanner to every doctor I know, including my rheumatologist, who'd been giving me all these pills for the past 5 years and injecting my knees. And I ran into his office, Sean, look what I've got. And he's like, what? You want me to talk to my patients about nutrition? Well, anyway, I'm getting a little off. But anyway, that's my story. That's how I got here today.
We have 14 questions. You haven't stopped.
Oh, God, good.
So, Jackie, you mentioned you were taking $400 worth of products.
Yes.
And there had to be some sort of a belief system that was built around this scanner. Walk us through, I mean, $400 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, I mean, was that just an instantaneous thing, or
Oh, no.
what walked you through and say, all right, you know what, I kind of get what John's doing in the scanner, and to create, as a scientist, a nurse, a dentist, having your occupation, really ripped out from underneath you because of arthritis.
Right.
Talk to us about that.
Well, when you aren't getting anywhere with your current treatment, you start thinking, okay, there's got to be something else. And of course, I would read everything I could find. And every journal that I picked up said, well, curcumin is good for inflammation. Well, I'd run out and get a bottle of that, and I'd run out and get another, bottle of chondroitin. And so I ended up with a cabinet full of, probably 40 bottles of different micronutrients, trying to become my own chemist and fix myself, right? And of course, since I don't know anything about how all these things interact, they didn't work, obviously. And as a consumer, that's all I was at that point. I had no nutritional education whatsoever in all those years of medical school and nursing school. I basically bought by price, but I bought the expensive stuff, thinking if it was expensive, it had to be better, right? I wanted to give my body the best I could get. And so when John scanned me, I was upset. I felt duped. And honestly, when he told me that his product was $107, I was like, gee, you just saved me $300. I'm in.
So did you have a relationship with John Whitaker?
No,
prior to this?
not at all.
So this is kind of like cold turkey. Correct?
Cold turkey, yeah.
Now, here's the thing I want us to understand. John used the scanner
Absolutely.
to get the attention, not of a doctor, but as a product user. And we need to understand that connection there. And as a result of that, I'm going to ask Jackie a couple of questions. You have recruited lots of healthcare professionals.
Yes.
Tell us about how you recruited your most recent healthcare professional, and who was it, and what discipline was it?
Okay. It's an integrative dermatologist. I'm going to be doing her training on Wednesday. She's probably one of the smartest doctors I know, and I didn't have to talk to her about the science. In fact, my whole approach is completely different. Like, you mentioned it, I think you mentioned it earlier today, or maybe it was even last night. You know, I used to go in scientist to scientist, oh, let me tell you about, you know, nutrition and all the scanner and talk science, and, you know, I can't out-science this woman. So I just went in and said, Laura, how's the practice? You know, and she needs money. She's a brilliant, brilliant dermatologist, but she's drowning in debt. So with her, the conversation was all about, are you, you know, how is, she uses
So
lots
let's
of...
pause for a moment. As you do this more and more, you're going to realize there's two people out there, there's two disciplines, dermatology and plastic surgery, that really are not experiencing the Obamacare crunch. Those two have been somewhat protected from it. So it's interesting that in this particular case, with a dermatologist, she is feeling that business crunch. And can you imagine? She's having the same experience that Jackie had, where she had gone all to school, received all of this education, and all of a sudden said, I have to also wear a business hat. Not just a medical hat, not just a heart where I want to help people, but I help to help myself first. And I want you to visualize this as Jackie continues this story. Most everybody flew here, correct? And in the process of doing that, we kind of get things mixed up a little bit on how this works. We're always trying to help the next guy. But when you get on that flight, and that flight attendant says, should we lose cabin pressure? What do they tell you to do? That mask is going to fall down. And first, save yourself before you can save the person next to you. And that is what we have to do here. We have to have a program to save ourselves first. Jackie saved herself first before she can save a dermatologist. John saved himself first before he could save Jackie. That saving means building that belief system around the validity of that scanner. So let's...
That's so true. Yeah, that's so true. Well, she's so desperate, she was about to sign a contract to go work in Abu Dhabi for a year just to make money, and it's crazy. Until I told her that, you know, she's single, and they kill people over there for having sex out of marriage, and she decided not to go. That's another story. She decided she would do the scanner instead. So, you know, it's so easy. It was so easy for her. I just put her hand in front of the scanner. She's somebody who takes a lot of supplements. And she actually scanned very well. She eats very, you know, she eats very well. She knows what she's doing. She's very well trained in nutrition. And so that validated to her, you know, that what she was doing was the right thing. And she immediately saw how she can now start moving some of these nutritional products that she has in her, well, move those right out the door, but how she can start, you know, earning some income off of improving her patient's nutrition.
Now, Jackie, you and I, how long have we known each other?
7 years.
7 years. Have we gone back and forth with some of our philosophies a little bit?
A few times.
When do you decide to lead with the business as opposed to lead with the science side? When do you make that decision?
Well, I wish I had an answer for you, Wes. Sometimes it's just kind of by my gut. You know, it's different with every person.
I want to pause for just a moment. This is the thing that just really, really troubles me, is that everybody can be a realtor, right? It is the same opportunity in Denver to be a real estate agent. What separates those realtors? What separates the registered nurses? What separates the doctors? What separates the entrepreneurs when you have this level playing field? And even though we start with this scripting, John will tell you, and he will tell you, if he hasn't told you already, he'll tell you again, that he receives a phone call almost every day. John, what do I say? And John is going to come back really strong. It's not what you say, it's what you believe about what you say. So Ian believes in that script. And if you take that script and memorize those scripts that we were just talking about and that went on at 10 o'clock this morning, and you take ownership for that script, this gut feeling that she talked about will dictate that scripting. And that's what I want people to understand. There isn't one way to do this. Each of us have a course of least resistance. And I think your course of least resistance is to be a scientist, isn't that?
Yes, I find it. Yes, it's true.
Okay, and you've kind of had to learn a little bit more on the business side of it. Is that fairly accurate?
I had to get enough brain damage that I kind of lost my science brain, actually.
Yeah. So, and it's really easy for me to lose my science brain. Oh, I've never had one. Do you see how simple that is?